Yeah, so it's right around 2:20 p.m. now on Friday, June 21st, 2024. I literally have been trying to get out of here for a few hours now, and there's always something wrong going on in this environment that is dysfunctional, that has nothing to do with anything that I am doing, and that prevents me from being able to do what I need to do when I need to do it. So a few days ago, I was looking for trash bags that I keep stored under this sink. There's a lot of plastic stuff that I store, including Tupperware containers, just coffee mugs that I don't use, jars, and plastic recycling bags, right? So these reusable shopping bags. There's literally water just coming from somewhere underneath this sink, and it's pooling. It's literally collecting in little puddles. Do you see this right here? That's a puddle of water. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, see? There's water dripping from somewhere underneath. I don't know if it's coming from like a broken seal in the sink once again, but there's all this water suddenly on this bag right here. So whatever. Oh. The underneath part of this part of the sink is wet. So is there like a crack here and then the water is kind of dripping underneath? Because this plastic bag right here and this plastic bag are covered with water. I keep this cabinet door closed, and the only time that I might be splashing water, on the floor or in the area around the counter is when I have to rinse out my hair when I'm shampooing it, and the water from my shower head suddenly starts to stink like fish or like Parmesan cheese, which it should never do unless somebody is deliberately tampering with the integrity of the plumbing system to my unit, which has obviously been going on for years. I've been reporting it for years. So the fact that there's water literally pooling on this plastic bag right here and on the one behind it. Oh, this one's wet too. Jesus, what is going on under here? There must be some sort of a leak from the underneath part of the sink. And I don't know how far the leak goes, but there's dampness. Yeah, there's dampness around this pipe. Oh, the water, Jesus Christ. Holy shit, there's like a puddle. There's literally a puddle. Wow. Well, this is not good. Yep. Oh my God. It's literally all wet. Holy shit. There's literally a puddle of water right here, and it's damaging the cabinet. Do you see? Oh, look, do you see all this water? All this water. It's literally just, there's a puddle. There's a splashing noise. My hand is making a splashing noise. Okay, yeah, it's time to call Greenville. There's a serious leak. I don't know if it's like, oh my God, this whole pipe is wet. So it's coming from here. There's a leak. The drain is leaking. The drain is leaking. Ugh. So there must be some kind of a broken seal right here, because it's all, my plastic bags are completely soaked. Oh man, there's just water all over here. No, this is not good. Oh, and it's going all the way back here. It's literally all the way, there's a puddle. No, this entire cabinet is literally covered with about 1/4 of an inch of water. Wow, okay. No, this is really bad. This whole pipe right here is wet, so it's either leaking from here or it's leaking from underneath here. That's not good. Yeah, and that's funny because at the same time, my fridge, which is now 14 years old, isn't working anymore, and I have to tape it shut, not just to keep the irizary, the compulsive food contaminator out of here, but the door literally tends to just pop open for no reason, and it also, the fridge has been melting, the ice in the fridge has been melting over the last few days, and there's water coming out of the bottom of the fridge as well. This is a 14-year-old fridge. It was here before I moved in, and I don't even know how long it was here before I moved in. So there's problems with the sink. There's obviously a big leak and a puddle, like a puddle of standing water. There's literally standing water. It's like all over the place. I have to move all this. Wow, it's like all wet under here. And is there mouse droppings? Oh God. Is there mouse droppings? It feels like there's a lot of shreddings. I mean, there's rodents in this unit anyway. I don't have any food stored under here. Ugh. Feels like there's like mouse shreddings or mouse droppings. What's all these little shredding things? No, this is why yeah, do you see that water right there? Do you see how it's like shiny right there? That's like a puddle of water. Gross. So either there's a leak from the drain or then the actual drain pipe is leaking, but also the fridge doesn't work. So stuff has been melting in there for the last few days. I mean, no matter how hot it is outside, your fridge should still work. And then the door just randomly pops open. It's a 14-year-old fridge. Okay, so there's a puddle of standing water that is really seriously damaging the cabinet and the wood under here. Everything is wet. I've had to move all the plastic bags that I have under here, and I keep basically Tupperware containers under here in these plastic bags. So this rag right here is literally sopping up all this water. I think there's also, oh my God, there's mouse droppings. Check this out, guys. There's mice under here. See this? That's mouse droppings. And because maintenance actually did work under the sink just a month ago, this means that there's an active like rodent infestation under here, which is weird because I don't keep any food under here. All the contents of these bags are basically just plastic trash bags or plastic Tupperware containers. There's no food under here. So there's mice under the sink, and at the same time there's a leak and there's water literally all over the place. All of my bags are covered with water. I have to like shake them out and maybe get rid of, maybe replace them. Okay, so there's a leak from that pipe and there's rodents. And this fridge over the last few days, because it's been like 97 degrees outside, literally the ice is melting and causing water to drip all over everything inside this fridge. And the seal on the fridge is broken, so I have to tape it shut. I mean, I started having to tape it shut 2 years ago when Irizarry the psychopath was getting in here and contaminating all of my treats and my healthy food. I've made videos about that for years now. Irizarry likes to get in here when I'm in the bathroom down the hall for a minute or two. And because she obviously uses surveillance devices in here to see what I do, she also knows exactly which food items I keep in my fridge. And those are the food items she goes for. So I've had to tape up the fridge. And once I started taping up the fridge, the contamination stopped. However, now the fridge needs to be taped shut just because the door keeps popping open. And again, there's no water coming out of the shower head. I can barely get my hand wet right now. This is the full throttle water pressure of this shower. Do you hear how like tiny that little trickle sounds? There's no water coming out of the shower. Nobody can actually shower under here because there's practically no water coming out of here. Do you see this? Barely any water. Like, look, it doesn't even cover my whole hand. It's seriously being throttled. The water to the shower is being throttled deliberately. When the water is on full volume and all you get is like a tiny little trickle. I mean, this tap right here has more water coming out of it than the shower head. Look at all that water. This is fantastic water pressure. So if the water pressure to this tap is full blast, I mean, this is plenty, right? There's great water pressure. Then why is there practically no water coming out of the shower head? Do you hear that? You can barely hear it, folks, because there's barely any water coming out. So let's just check the shower in the bathroom down the hall, just for comparison, again. Okay, so yeah, there's barely any water coming out of the shower head. Look, there's nothing. It's a tiny little trickle. But again, when you turn on this tap, full throttle, plenty of water pressure, fantastic water pressure. I could probably take a shower under this tap because of the fantastic water pressure if there was more room. This is the shower on full blast. So this is off, all right, off, on. There's so little water, it barely covers my hand. It falls into the middle of my hand. It doesn't even cover my hand. I have to move my hand around just to get it wet under the shower. This is ridiculous. So let's just check out the water from the shower down the hall into this unit. There, the flow of water. Okay, now it's working. Great. Someone's having a mental health crisis and it's not me. Okay. Creeping. Psycho creep in 88 starts shouting whenever I walk by his door. That's weird. All right, guys. Okay. So that is what normal water pressure looks like. Yeah, there's plenty of water here. So this is not what the water that comes out of my shower looks or sounds like. And sticking my hand under here, whoa, Jesus. All right, so this is what adequate water pressure and volume looks like. You can see the water coming out of the shower. It's covering the shower floor. It's not a trickle. You can hear the sound of the water coming out. That is normal volume and pressure for a shower. Okay, so let's go back to my bathroom and compare this. Psycho creep. He just sits in his unit all day and screams and shouts. Okay. So, what do we have coming out of this shower right here? Nothing. It's such little water that I have to move my hand around under it to get my hand wet. All right, I'm gonna have to call inspectional services about this. I can't use the shower. There's not enough water coming out of the shower head. But the water coming out of the tap, once again, that's plenty under here. Wow. So again, if I wanted to take a shower under this tap, I could, because there's excellent water pressure and volume. But the water coming out of that shower head is a tiny trickle and you can barely see it or hear it. So we've got a problem. Okay, 2:41 p.m. on June 21st. So let's just pause for a second and say that the psycho creep in 88 who was just literally screaming out of his door at me as I was walking down the hall, what he was shouting was, "It's all in your head, crazy bitch. It's all in your head, crazy bitch." Well, why would he care? Why does he have such a vested interest in what I say and do in the privacy of this unit that he should have no knowledge of? There's surveillance devices in here, and the psycho creep in 88, the violent thug directly below in 76, and the psycho scum, psychopath, perving piece of shit Irizarry in the bathroom of 78 are constantly responding to things that I say and do in the privacy of this unit as I'm doing it or just after I'm doing it. So let's talk about crazy. When you're reporting things like plumbing problems and breaking and entering, leaks under your sink, a refrigerator that doesn't work, banging and smacking, intense marijuana smoke, those are all physical phenomena that are not just entirely physically possible, but highly likely, given that the Greenville Group chooses to place large numbers of inmates from the Massachusetts prison system and its feeder agencies, DPH and DMH, in this building. The psycho creep in 88 is one of them. His name is Kevin. Kevin is so mentally disturbed, he can't leave me alone. He constantly shouts things through the door. He incessantly comments on my YouTube videos, even though I not once have responded in the last 2 months. Initially, I was trying to be nice and I'd make comments. And Kevin just doesn't get the hint because Kevin is low IQ and mentally disturbed. Irizarry the psychopath is the same thing. She's lived in this building for 10 years. Irizarry was moved in 2.5 years after I moved in. And that's when all hell started to break loose from the bathroom of 78. That's not my imagination. That's Greenville choosing to house a known psychopath who was also in the Massachusetts Sex Offender Registry in 2016 and 2017. Now, since then, maybe her records were impounded, or I'm not sure what the deal is. I do know that judges can impound people's criminal records for various reasons, but Irizarry is a registered sex offender. I can guarantee that. I saw it with my own eyes and actually took pictures back in 2016. Do I have those? They were taken with a camera. I'd have to find the SIM card. So what I report, what I continue to document in this video is entirely physically possible. I'm not talking about unicorns and leprechauns and fairies or whatever. UFOs, okay, all that stuff I don't know about. All I know is that there's no water coming out of my shower. There's plenty of water coming out of the shower of the bathroom down the hall. The water to my kitchen tap, bathroom tap, and shower head suddenly start to stink like fish, like Parmesan cheese, like feet when I try to rinse out the shampoo and the soap from my hair and my face, when it's not my hair and my face that stink like feet, like fish, and like Parmesan cheese. It's a psychopath who claims to be a structural engineer who engaged in a lot of plumbing work against the pipes to my kitchen tap in 2019, after which the water suddenly started to stink. Before that, there was no stink. There were no health or safety issues with that tap water at all. Before Irizarry, the structural engineer and psychopath, decided to engage in plumbing work on a Sunday afternoon that the Greenville group said they had no knowledge of. So you do the math on that one, folks. And if you're too retarded to understand what I'm saying and just chalk up anything that you're too stupid to understand as crazy, then you're the one who's crazy. So again, back to the maintenance issues that I keep reporting. Let's just call the Greenville group. Report these issues because honestly, a leak under the sink where there's literally like 1/4 of an inch of standing water and I have to remove all my bags is a significant problem, as is a refrigerator where the ice is melting all over the inside of the fridge and there's water leaking underneath the back of the refrigerator as well. That's a serious issue. So these are not imaginary problems. This is physically possible and likely, and it needs to be reported.
At any time. For rentals, press 1. For maintenance, press 2. If you're interested in selling a property, press 3. For the office directory, press 4, or press 0 for the front desk.
I forgot about the rodent infestation, but that needs to be mentioned as well. The cloth that I used to wipe up the puddle of water under my sink showed rodent droppings. So it's like 2:45 and they're not answering. I guess I'll just have to leave another voicemail.
After the tone, please leave a detailed message with your name and number so we may get back to you when we return.
Hi there. It's right around 2:45 p.m. on Friday, June 21st. I'm calling for a second time today from Unit 89 to report that there's some significant health and safety issues as well as some maintenance-related problems currently occurring in my unit, Unit 89, and they have been occurring over the last couple of weeks. Right now, there's a leak underneath my sink, and the kitchen sink, the cabinet is literally flooded with water underneath the pipes to the drain of my sink. I'm not sure if the drain is leaking or if the faucet is leaking, but I just had to remove all of the trash bags under my sink because the bottom of the wooden cabinet underneath the sink is covered with about 1/4 of an inch of standing water. The standing water is damaging the base of the cabinet, and it's also damaging the floor area around the base of the sink. At the same time, the refrigerator in this unit over the last few days, maybe due to the excessive heat, has suddenly failed and is leaking the ice water all over the bottom of the refrigerator. There's a puddle of water at the bottom of that refrigerator because the ice in the ice box is melting. It's maybe because of the heat, but this never happened before. It's a 14-year-old fridge, and it probably needs to be fixed. At the same time, there's barely any water coming out of the shower head of my bathroom, as I've reported dozens of times in the last 2 months. There's barely any water coming out of my shower head, and I have a hard time showering effectively under that shower head. I just went down the hall to the common bathroom, and the water from the shower head in the common bathroom has plenty of really strong water pressure and volume coming out of it. That is not happening in the shower of my bathroom. There's barely any water coming out of the shower of my bathroom, and it prevents me from being able to use the shower in my bathroom as I need to and when I need to. Now I have to go down the hall to the common bathroom and use the shower in the common bathroom because there's plenty of water coming out of that shower head, but barely any water coming out of my own shower head. At the same time, throughout the afternoon and early morning, as I reported in a conversation I had with Greenville earlier today at around 11:30 a.m., there's someone who's been sitting in the bathroom of Unit 78 behind the wall of my toilet, smoking intense amounts of marijuana throughout the afternoon yesterday, throughout late night last night, and now again throughout the late morning and early afternoon today. This person should not be sitting in Unit 78. You guys keep telling me Unit 78 is vacant and empty, but Irizarry, the psychopath who lived in Unit 78 for 10 years, continues to be permitted to access the premises of her former bathroom, where she seems to engage in some very constant and aggressive disruptive behavior that is exactly the same behaviors she's been engaging in since 2013. This prevents me from being able to use my bathroom or even be in my unit when she's literally propagating large amounts of intense marijuana smoke into my bathroom and my kitchen area for hours. That forced me to keep the door to the hallway open and my window open, and I literally cannot sit in my unit for more than a few minutes because I am literally getting smoked out. I am recording this voicemail for legal purposes, and again, I'll be following up with a written notification to the Greenville group and your attorneys. Thank you. Yeah, now my voice is going. I'm completely hoarse right now. Like, I can barely speak. I sound like a smoker, and I don't smoke at all, but my voice is raspy because for the last 2 days now, I've been forced to breathe in the intense marijuana smoke that's constantly filling my living space and my bathroom from the bathroom of a vacant unit, Unit 78, that Greenville keeps claiming is not rented, but that Irizarry, the psycho scum stalker and mentally disturbed psychopath, apparently she's a fixer for the Greenville group, keeps accessing the premises of her former bathroom to deliberately engage in harassment and stalking. That then prevents me from being able to safely use my bathroom, my toilet, my shower, or even to safely just sit in this unit for any amount of time while she sits behind that wall using some type of directed energy weapon that she apparently just started using again earlier today when I was sitting on the toilet, as I reported. And she's also been deliberately propagating intense amounts of marijuana smoke through that wall into my bathroom throughout the morning and early afternoon. It's really affecting my voice right now. Oh my God. And now, once again, the directed energy weapon use just started. This is insane, folks. If you have a landlord who refuses to address these kinds of issues and whose business model creates this type of problem to begin with, then you need to take them to court.